Well, here's home for the night, everybody. There's absolutely no parking signage here, so I'm going to take my chances. Usually if that's the case, it's not enforced. So here's where it's going to be. Coffee. Here we go. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I seem to park in like the industrial area of Lunenburg. Yeah, there's like What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is Adam here with another video. I am a musician on the road. I'm living in my van. I'm traveling around Canada. I love to travel around Canada because I write music about Canada. So here we are in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. Welcome to Lunenburg, everybody. It's well known for being the place that built the Blue Nose. We'll get to that later. I also want to touch on later the hardships that fishing communities go through, and that is near to my heart. Every time I talk about it, I get pretty emotional. So we're going to get to that at the end, but just a quick tour of Lunenburg. It's an amazingly beautiful town, a picturesque town. It's got incredible architecture. I mean, the churches are stunning. The town was founded in 1753, which by Canadian standards, that's quite old. And a lot of these buildings go back to the 1700s. So Lunenburg is a tourist town, straight up. When you look around, you know, it's geared towards tourism. Just on a practical note, I'd advise, like, you know, this is a good place for date night, for family, and if you're retired, a lot of retired people show up here in droves. If you're looking for nightlife, Lunenburg's not the place for you, but it's got amazing history, and it's just stunningly beautiful, and it's a nice quiet getaway spot. The architecture is incredible. I mean, the churches go back a long ways. They've been through hell and back, you know, they've been through fires and all kinds of things, but they've been lovingly restored by the town every time something bad's happened, and a lot of the original architecture still remains to this day. So you're going to see a lot of old buildings, a lot of tributes, a lot of provincial heritage sites, and actually Lunenburg is a UNESCO World Heritage Site because it's still on the old grid pattern that was laid out in the 1700s. It hasn't changed. And a lot of the buildings are still very old. You get the old mixed with the new. It's rustic yet modern and lovingly cared for. You know, it's very ma and pa shop type of a place. It's just beautiful. The setting is amazing. It's right on the water, of course. It's not on the open Atlantic, but it's right on a bay that's off the open Atlantic. So it's not crazy windy here, and you're sheltered here, which is nice. It's a cool harbor. It's nice and peaceful and quaint, and quaint is the word for this town, really. It's really beautiful. Lunenburg, it's super famous for, yes, the Blue Nose. The Blue Nose wasn't here, unfortunately. The Blue Nose is hardly ever here. It's always out at sea. No Blue Nose. If you don't know what the Blue Nose is, the Blue Nose was a sailing boat made right here in Lunenburg for racing. And we successfully beat the Americans quite a few times. I think it was like around 5 times, every race. We got beat badly first, but then we started to beat them. So the boat was built in 1921, and from the 20s through the 30s, we kept beating the Americans in their best boats. So that is a Canadian claim to fame. And of course, the Blue Nose is on the back of the Canadian dime. It's that little sailboat on the back of the dime, just in case you didn't know. So there's tons to see. There's a lot of seafood to eat. You're going to see a lot of fish this, fish that. They love their fish here. They have fish everything, including fish on the steeple of a church. You know, it's a maritime culture here, and they're very proud of it. They love it. Everyone loves it. That's why everyone's here. So, you know, if you're in a touristy type mood and you want to get to a beautiful little place, come to Lunenburg. It's just gorgeous. Now, something that always gets me all emotional is the story of the fisheries. I mean, this place is touristy now, but it always wasn't touristy. I mean, they had to adapt from being, you know, shoemakers and bakers and stuff at first to being fishermen here, and for hundreds of years. But then in the 1990s, the cod fisheries just totally crashed, and they had to adapt again. So now that's why it is a touristy place. So the tourism thing here is actually super recent. The fishermen and the families of the fishermen, like those people, those earlier breeds, were the real heroes. They are the real heroes. You know, these days, it always makes me mad because we tend to idolize people like that are rich, you know. I'm more impressed by the people who were fishing here because those people had to get into dories, tiny little boats, like rowing into the open Atlantic off the mother ship that was brought out, way out there. And they had to load thousands of pounds into these dories full of cod. And like, if you don't know how dangerous that is, I mean, you're taking your life into your hands hardcore every single day for months on end. And then they'd come back after a couple months into town, see the family again, and go back out and do it again. And of course, the whole while, the women were taking care of the children and playing mother, doctor, teacher, everything else. These are amazing people. These are heroic people. Many lives were lost. Most faces we'll never know. We'll never put a face to the name. And this is what this entire town was built on. And this is why we're so freaking lucky now. Most of these rich guys that everyone idolizes would never go out into a boat. You think Donald Trump would go out into a boat and go fishing for cod? No, absolutely not. You get my point. These are the real heroes, and they still are. And this town and many towns like it were built on people like that, on their backs. So cheers to those people. There's a beautiful tribute in town here, full of names of lives that were lost at sea. And it's crazy. Oftentimes you see the same last name in a row over and over again, because sometimes if a boat went under, it was an entire family, because, you know, brothers would fish with brothers and uncles and cousins, and it was all the same last name. So entire families were lost out at sea here. It's inspiring, but at the same time sad, and at the same time scary and all. Like, it just brings up so many emotions. So Lunenburg seems touristy, but really it's so historical. Once you look behind the beautiful colored houses and you look at the devil's in the details here, it's just amazing. It's yet another tribute to a hardy fishing culture along Canada's Atlantic coast. There's so many of them. This is one of them, but it's also a beautiful tourist town. So if you're in the mood for some beautiful Nova Scotia, Lunenburg should be on your list. I hope you come out here. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, everybody. I'm off again out to Canso. Canso is my next stop to pay tribute to the amazing folk legend in music, Canadian music, Stan Rogers. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later.